What's up guys, it's Nimbus Reviews here, back with another One Piece chapter review. The scans for chapter 1002 came out Thursday night a little bit early, and once again, it was an amazing chapter. We pick right back up where we left off on the rooftop last time, which is basically what I expected. I'm not sure about everyone else, but I didn't see Oda switching away from the rooftop so soon, because usually he'd like to leave on a cliffhanger or a point of great tension. And I honestly don't think the ending of last chapter was suspenseful enough to warrant him switching away from the scene at the moment. I do think soon, maybe at the end of the act, we'll switch over to the stuff down below with the other Straw Hats. But for now, at least until Act 3 ends, I think we're staying on the rooftop. Which is really good, for me at least, because I've enjoyed everything that's happened since the Supernova made it and faced off against Kaido and Big Mom. And it's honestly what I expected. I was going to do a prediction video for this chapter, but I didn't get around to it, and then by the time I could do it, everyone had already put theirs out. Since there was no chapter, everyone decided to do one. But I think you guys can start expecting those. If we don't have a chapter for a certain week, I'll do a prediction video in place of the review. But anyways, back to the chapter. This chapter continues a trend of the Supernova having an all-out brawl with Kaido, with Big Mom kind of playing a support to Kaido. I've really enjoyed how Oda set up this fight with Big Mom being support, because the position she's in now, she's able to let her power and her fruit shine basically as much as possible without any interference. Because the Supernova, Luffy, Zoro, Law, Killer, and Kid, they're all distracted with Kaido right now. And we see that later in the chapter when Killer and Zoro get struck down by Big Mom, because they're too distracted with Kaido. And it's honestly really cool seeing Big Mom like that, because Oda hasn't shown her in great light before, especially during Whole Cake Island in the beginning of Wano. She's been kind of made to look like a fool who's not competent and is kind of just an overgrown baby. But we see now, with her fighting with Kaido and fighting against Kaido earlier, that she's very confident and she can hold her own against the other emperors of the sea. And as for our side of the fight, all of the Supernova were able to land significant attacks against Kaido, aside from Zoro, but we'll talk about that later. But basically everyone else was able to land some sort of finishing move usually, but it's Kaido, so they definitely won't kill him or even come close. But we got to see Killer, who surprisingly was able to damage Kaido quite a bit. Honestly, it seemed like he's damaged him more than anybody else this chapter, with a new move he showed us called Sonic Scythe. So I'm not sure if this is a sound type attack because of Sonic, and he might be using his blades to create sound waves and damage his insides, but I don't think we'll get it explained ever, so I'm assuming that's what it is, for now at least. It's really cool seeing Killer like this, because for a long time we haven't seen Kid or Killer do anything, and now they're facing off against the boss of the arc, Kaido, and they're doing real damage, which is really cool to see. Right after hitting Kaido though, he's struck down by Big Mom. Big Mom has basically amassed a bunch of clouds with Zeus, so she has a full rain, unlimited supply of thunder, and is able to just strike everyone down. The attack she used was called Indra, and it's basically just a giant bolt of lightning, and she took the opportunity to get Killer off guard and basically one-shot him. I think he's probably getting back up, but I'm sure it did a lot of damage to him. But yeah, for Killer's attack is really interesting, and it's cool to see people use different kind of fighting styles and attacks not involving like a devil fruit or some sort of hockey, because we just don't see it that often, especially since New World, where it's basically if you don't have advanced hockey, you can't do anything, or you can't get very far. So it's nice to see the other Supernova have other ways to deal with the Yonko. And then we have Law using his Gamma Knife on Kaido. I'm not sure how much that would do to him, or if it'll do anything to him. It seemed to hurt him in the moment, but I don't think it'd do anything as close to what it did to Doflamingo. Honestly, I'm not even sure if it pierced his organs. It probably hurt on the surface level, his skin, because it just pierces through, it goes through anything, I assume. But it's cool to see that he's using his top ability right off the bat. It shows he's not stupid and he knows he's dealing with someone above anyone he's dealt with before. And it also makes you think what else he might have up his sleeve if he's so willing to use that, like, as his second attack against Kaido. So it'll be interesting to see what role he'll play in this fight going further. And then we have Kid. He used another variation of his Gibson attacks. It was Gibson something. Gibson Smash, Gibson Slam. I think it's Gibson Slam. Which basically he just RKO'd Kaido. And I see a lot of people having a problem with the way Kid's fighting Kaido and planning to damage him. But obviously we see it's working and he's getting just as much acknowledgement as everyone else. So I'm not sure what the problem is. And I don't know if people aren't understanding. But Kid, he said he's going to try to crush him. Like, he knows he can't pierce him. He doesn't use swords or knives or slicing abilities. He doesn't have hacks, devil fruit ability like Law, and he doesn't have advanced Ryo. So his only option is brute force. And crushing kind of negates Kaido's tough skin, his tough scales, because if you crush him, he's doing damage to the inside automatically. If you get put under enough pressure, it'll crush you, like it'll destroy you inside. So I think it's a smart way. I'm surprised nobody else has done it in the past. And I'm honestly surprised people are having a problem with it. I guess maybe because it's not as cool as everyone else's way of fighting Kaido. It's kind of just very meatheadish. But I'm fine with it. I wish it was a little more flashy, but that's about it. Now, on to the big thing everyone's been talking about this chapter. Zoro and Enma. So Luffy's about to get hit with one of Kaido's Boro breath. And Zoro asks Law to teleport him up so he can slice it before it hits Luffy. And right after slicing it, he goes in for a big attack on Kaido. I think it was called Flying Dragon Breath or something. Flying Dragon Fire. Something like that. I forget. I'll have to reread. Plus, it's not the official, so it's probably going to be different anyways. And it's a one-sword style attack. But the big thing is, Kaido wasn't paying much attention to it. And honestly, he's been doing that to everyone. He kind of doesn't seem like he wants to dodge or anything. Like, he's just letting every attack hit him. But Big Mom told him, dodge. Like, she kind of freaked out. So she told Kaido to dodge because that's not a normal sword. Or that's not your average sword. And then Kaido ends up seeing something interesting about the sword. He says he sees Odin's presence, like, emanating off of it. Which, I'm not sure if that's to do with all swordsmen. If it has something to do with his advanced Ryo, his advanced armament haki. Or is it just Enma? Because Enma sucks out your Ryo by itself. I think it might be a combination of two of them. Because I think to make a black blade, you have to imbue your armament haki into a sword enough. And it'll become black. But Enma actually sucking the Ryo, I think, is actually like Odin's power is still in there in some way. And I see a lot of people having a problem with this because they're saying, oh, and Enma's carrying Zoro and Zoro's not actually doing the damage. But Hitetsu told Zoro, like, nobody has been able to use that. Nobody before Odin, nobody since. So I don't have a problem with it because it's not just a free buff. Zoro has to learn to use it. And honestly, he has to probably get his own Ryo to the same level of Odin's to be able to control it fully, at least as well as he does his other swords. Because if not, the sword's will is overpowering his own. And also, it might help him tap into the advanced Ryo that Odin and Luffy have, and probably a few others. So I really like it for Zoro as a buff, as a training tool. And I don't really understand why everybody else is having a problem with it. But yeah, Zoro sends a flying slash at Kaido, but I guess he misses. I'm not sure if Kaido ended up dodging or it was fully on Zoro and he just missed completely. It ended up hitting one of the horns on the skull of Onigashima and it cut it completely off. And not like just the tip of it either. It was like almost the base of the horn, like one of the thickest parts of it. So that was really cool. Honestly, this chapter has been amazing for Zoro, for Big Mom, Luffy, Killer, It's cool seeing people shine who haven't been able to pat in the story before. And Luffy, honestly, if you like Luffy, you're gonna like all these chapters because Luffy's just being Luffy at his like purest. Because I think he's very confident in this fight, more confident than I think anyone thought he would be. And I think he has a right to be, honestly, because he has all his allies with him. He has Zoro, he has Law, he can count on, and he also has Killer and Kid there. And they're up against 2 Yonko, yeah, but we're almost towards the end of the story. It's not like the ceiling isn't that far away. Luffy's reaching to the top, and I think people have a problem with that. And after the Zoro thing happened, we see Big Mom use another Indra bolt on Zoro. This sends Luffy into a kind of rage, where he goes straight to Kaido, which doesn't make sense really, because Big Mom's the one who's been hurting everyone. And she also shoots it at Luffy and the others, Killer, Law, and Kid. They get hit by, obviously, Luffy's rubber, so it didn't hurt him. Big Mom was surprised by this, which is kind of surprising, because I feel like she should know he's rubber, especially with her information network or whatever. She's supposed to know a lot, but she didn't know that, so whatever. But he tanked that, and then he goes for a Kong Gatling, I think. Or there's a Kong rifle somewhere in there, which I think is a new attack. I don't think we've ever seen it before. And honestly, Kong Gatling, I don't think we've seen before because we've seen Kong Organ, but Kong Gatling, I'm not too sure. But he goes for those both on Kaido. And then Kaido tried shooting him, or he shot him with a Boro breath, and Luffy tanked it completely. Everyone's assuming this is a scene from the newest anime opening, or the one before maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And Kaido was very surprised that Luffy was able to tank it. And Luffy's explanation was it was guts. On the unofficial translation, he says, Kaido asks, oh, how are you able to tank that? And Luffy said guts. And then he hits him. I'm not too sure if Luffy's just saying that to say it, or was he able to protect his body with like a form of the Rio or advanced armament haki? Because we know Rayleigh said before that haki could be used as an invisible shield. And at the time, we didn't know, but he was talking about advanced armament because he showed him shooting his haki into the elephant and damaging it like that. So he's definitely talking about advanced, but I don't know if Luffy was using it at that moment. I assume this because in the opening, he has a red coating around him, like an aura, when he was going through Kaido's Boro breath. But yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm hoping it's something like that because it'd be cool seeing Luffy use more advanced techniques to fight Kaido and Big Mom. But that's really about all. And I didn't talk about the cover because it was just another request, fan art request basically. It was Rob Lucci sitting in the park feeding pigeons, which is cool, I guess. I'm not the biggest fan of Lucci, so it didn't matter much to me, but I know some people love him and probably enjoyed it a lot. But anyways, that'll probably be all for me today. I plan on making a video on my thoughts on Rio and Enma and how it's going to affect Zoro going forward and why everyone thinks it's such a bad thing for him. I'll probably get that video out in a couple of days, I'm not sure. But yeah, that'll be all for me today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.